celebrating 20 years of possibility. Pilot Flying J and Halloran Hilton Hill present Anything is Possible.
Welcome to Anything is Possible. This is part 2 of my interview with Bill Weigel. Bill, thank you for being with us on the broadcast.
Sure.
Kind of to recap, Augustus Weigel comes to America from Germany in 1846.
Yes.
He ends up with a farm somewhere in the southeastern United States, which eventually becomes a 500-acre farm in Powell.
Yes.
Brothers get together, they run that farm. It's food and dairy. It starts to move more toward dairy. You guys start delivering. The delivery business, because of the way the world was changing, flattens out. You go to Macaulay, then to Vanderbilt. You're pre-med. You're going to be a doctor to escape the reality that a farm thing might not work. You go, wait a minute, maybe it will. You come home at 21. You start the first drive-through, Weigel's Jug of Milk. You're underpricing the world famous Kaz Walker. Anybody that can say they want to battle against Kaz, Superderm. It's great.
He insisted that I sell Superderm out of my store too. He was probably one of the meanest guys I've ever run into, but he was a tough competitor.
He was a tough competitor. And then you go to the convention for convenience stores and you realize, wait a minute, there's more here. And so you, like you say, you were fortunate, but you kind of stumble into the convenience store business. H.T. Hackney comes in, starts putting in groceries. You discover all sorts of snacks, cigarettes, but you also have a place where you can sell the dairy products. And that's where we kind of left off in your story. By the way, at this point, at what point do you start to build your own family?
Well, I didn't get married till I was 29. So I was lucky. I was lucky. I didn't have to raise children and have to have an income. And I got married, beautiful girl from Fountain City, and we dated for 4 or 5 years because I was still working hard and didn't have any money. So I didn't get married till I was 29, and then I started having children. And our first was a miscarriage, and that was a shocker. And then we had 3 more children right after that, and so. Lovely family now. I have 7 grandchildren. But at any rate, during part of this, my luck part, I went to the convenience store convention, National Association Convenience Store Convention in Dallas, and I sat at a table during the lunch during the meetings, and I sat with some people that were telling me about an Icee machine that they were developing. They just brand new, and they were developing it. So they told me all about it, and I said, at that time I had 10 little drive-through milk stores. Didn't have a big walk-in milk store yet. And I said, I would like to have 10 of those. And so the local franchisee that had Tennessee, I was his first customer, and I had my 10 little Icee machines. Well, that was a game changer.
Really?
That was oh boy, that was the hottest thing going. And this guy gave me an exclusive. He just gave me an exclusive with no signed paper or anything. When he sold out, the other guy kept me an exclusive. So I was an exclusive Icee distributor till about 10 years ago.
Really?
For 40 years, I was exclusive. And
so if somebody had an Icee,
all the children were coming to my store to get an Icee. Just luck, just happened to be sitting at the table. What
did Icees do to your revenue? What happened?
It brought people to my store. The children, and the children brought their mom and dad, and they wanted an Icee, and they wanted one 2 or 3 times a week. It just was the biggest thing in my early career. Then in 1969, 9 years later, a fella came through and said, I would like to put 2 gas pumps in your parking lot, and I'll dig the holes, put the tanks in, buy the pumps, you'll own the pumps, and I'll give you half the profit. I said, well, people park in that parking lot. I don't want somebody parking in my parking lot. I don't want pumps in my parking lot. I said, but if you'll agree to dig it up, if I don't like it for any reason, I'll do it. Nobody's going to do that. So 2 weeks later, he came back from Texas and his boss out there and gave me a contract that said they would dig them up if I didn't like them for any reason. Well, I thought I couldn't lose there. So we had the first 2 self-service gas pumps in the state of Tennessee.
Really?
Again, he had the confidence. I didn't have it, but lucky he had it because I wouldn't have 2 gas pumps. Another good break I had. You got to have a lot of good breaks to make it.
Isn't that what General Nealon said? When the break happens,
take advantage.
Take advantage of it?
Yeah, take advantage.
So self-service was a new thing.
Yeah.
How did you take money then?
Well,
if somebody was doing self-service?
Well, I didn't pump the gas. They came in, they paid for their gas, and then I got at that point half the profit. Well, he said, that's enough to pay your utilities. And it was, and pretty soon I figured he was paying for all that equipment in 9 months. So after 4 of these, I said, I think I'll put in my own. And I started putting in my own. I got a plumber to put them in, and my first one was right off of Western Avenue. And we put the tanks in. The next day I came by. It was raining like the devil that night. And I came back the next morning, and we'd already piped in our tanks. All the piping was in the hole. The tanks were in the hole, but it was still open. And I told my plumber to fill the tanks. Well, when I got there that morning, because you have to have them filled, they'll hop out. The tanks were sticking up like that, like a torpedo coming out of the ground. All my pipe was mixed, just messed up. It was the worst experience of my life. First one I installed. So lucky I learned on the first one, I guess, because he said, I filled all of them half full. Well, what happens when they're half full? The ballast goes this way, they go up. So, that was my first experience at putting in gas tanks.
The interesting thing, I think is Ray Dalio said, whenever you start making progress, you meet resistance. If you overcome the resistance or the struggle or the challenge, there's certain wisdom that you acquire that serves you well going forward.
You learn by your mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Possibility powered by Pilot Flying J, Covenant Health, Home Federal, and the Knoxville News Sentinel. Coming up.
You could have cashed out a long time ago and gone back to the farm.
We're not for sale.
Really?
No.
I'm watching a progression here. You're trying to solve a problem. You got milk, you need to sell it. You start a drive-through, milk's not selling the way you thought. You go to learn more, you get an Icee machine, that creates more traffic. The traffic brings more people, you sell more milk, you meet somebody else, they want to put in pumps. Slowly but slowly, this is growing into a thing.
Yeah.
How does your scouting background inform this? Because I bet you learned a lot in scouting that you cling to even to this day.
Yeah, scouting is a great thing. Again, I consider that the best thing that ever happened to me. But in scouting, you're allowed to earn the Eagle. And it's kind of like quitting drinking. You can't, you have a choice. You have to make the decision that you want to be an Eagle Scout. And because the girls come by, cars come by, there are a lot of reasons not to complete the Eagle. But the persistence to complete that Eagle is something that some people do and some people don't. My friend Bo Schaefer said, I didn't become an Eagle Scout, I became a Girl Scout. So,
But I can see how you could leverage that thing of deciding that you're going to do something and being persistent to see it through.
Yeah.
So we go from drive-throughs to Icees to pumps. What I see today, and I travel a fair amount, you guys have got a brand. It's a real thing. I mean, it's really well done. How do we get from there to here? You've got, I think, 88 stores. I would imagine watching the way people are rolling up businesses like yours, you could have cashed out a long time ago and gone back to the farm. You've got something.
We're not for sale.
Really?
No.
And you say that just hardcore.
I get an offer every day.
Really?
My people have worked so hard. We're 91 years old now. And we put too much, it's just, we're not going to sell at any price.
Really?
All we want to do is be the last people to go broke. And if you are the last people to go broke, if somebody else goes broke, you'll get their business. So, gasoline cars are coming in, electric cars are coming in. So maybe our industry's got 20 years of life, but we're going to do something. And I've got people out there been with me a long time. You owe them. You owe them they're a part of that business.
Talk about that for just a minute. You're resolute. When I mentioned that, reflexively you said, we're not going to sell, period. But then your pivot was to your people.
Well, as you know, I'm looking at your people here, they are the people that make you successful, make your company successful. And I've had managers work for me from 30 to 75. They've spent their whole life building that company, and they've built that company. I've just been there. They've built the company, so they are part owners, and we're a team. And it makes me angry when somebody wants to buy me because they think they can buy me, and we are not for sale. If we don't make it, we won't make it, but we'll make it as long as we can make it, and where the last pipe will be broke, we'll make it a lot longer.
So talk about what the succession plan is. Your children are in the business?
My son is in the business, and I have 2 daughters that are very proud of her business. They will make it stay. They have the same feeling I have, and they know how I feel, so it's not going to be for sale during their tenure either. And I had a CFO, I had a CEO that passed away last year that had been with me 41 years.
I heard he was a fantastic man.
Gosh, he was great. We were like brothers. He started with me during the World's Fair year in '82, and then passed away suddenly from pulmonary fibrosis overnight. And I've got a good man that's been with us 15 years. That's going to be he's my president now. And we have a great core of people, and it's my job to build that stronger because, I'll be gone, and I want them to have a good team.
I want to do a quick pivot. I had no idea until I read the family book. Real estate. You guys have done quite a bit in real estate. When did you get fascinated by and dive into real estate?
When I started, I didn't have enough money to buy the land. So I wanted to own the land because I didn't want to pay rent. I thought I'd just rather own the land, but didn't have any money. So
are you tight financially? Are you very conservative when it comes to finances?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. We have a rainy day fund that we can work for a year without a profit.
Wow.
That means we're the last guy to go broke.
Right.
So at any rate, I would get a 5-year lease with the option to purchase. And after 5 years, I could buy it, and it worked like a charm. And then finally, real estate got more, sophisticated, and that won't work anymore, but you got to pay cash and buy the land. But friends of mine, good friends in the convenience store industry, had borrowed money, and they have 500 stores now. I have 80 stores now. So they leveraged and it worked. But I was born during the Depression in 1937. My dad always thought it was going to come again anytime. So we were very conservative as a family. And we didn't borrow money, really, to build the dairy. It was so slow. We didn't borrow the money to buy a cow. If we had enough money, we bought a cow. Every dime we get, we build a store. That's just what we do.
It works, though, doesn't it?
It works. It's slow. It's safe, but slow. Again, these people have been very, very successful. The largest convenience store chains in the nation were good friends, and we started at the same time. But they leveraged and it worked, and they did it their way, and I just do it our way. And we consistently don't build a store till we have the money to buy the land and build the store.
So before you put it up, it's paid for.
That's right.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
That's total. Everybody will tell you, you got to leverage other people's money. You got to, let it work for you.
There's a go broke possibility in that concept. During a recession or a depression, you can't make your bills, can't pay your bills. You got to pay interest. Nobody's going to forgive interest. So we just did it that way. Conservative is probably the right pronoun.
The design of your stores, because I've noticed you guys have progressively upgraded these stores. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like you've tripled down on the customer experience. Talk about the design of the stores, and talk to me about lighting, for instance.
Well, my construction people get very upset because I change it every 2 years and add something, and they have to add something else. And, lighting is what makes the female or any customer feel safe. That's key. Number one is clean bathrooms. Number two is well lighted. And that, if you look,
comes before product.
Oh yeah, that's a given. And if you outdo that with your competition, well, you'll be ahead. So then you've got that, and then you've got to have the people. So you got to have the lighting, you got to have the clean bathrooms, and you got to have the right people. And pretty soon you'll get customers. That's how you get customers. Clean bathrooms, a lot of lighting, good people. It's very simple.
You could take that home. That's a great way to build a great house, right? Have a good bathroom, keep it clean, and be nice to people.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the move toward more in-store brands, because you guys have got pizza, and you've got sandwiches, and you've got breakfast sandwiches, and then I noticed baked goods, and then all this innovation, peanut butter chocolate milk, for instance. Talk to me about that. Did that become a great business for you?
Yes, it is, and our brand is very important. That'll be the reason we're successful or not successful. So now I have some marketing people that are really young and really smart, and we're going to have our own candy, our own Weigel's candy, bag candy.
Brother Mars has done pretty good on that candy.
Yeah. His brand's pretty strong. Well, we hope we got to be a strong brand to sell candy, because Mars is there and Hershey's there. So peanut butter milk, we're the only people who sell peanut butter milk. So, that's a good thing. And we have strawberry milk now. And all these, being first to market, we had the first cappuccino machines in town. If you're first to market with some of these things, it helps you be a branded company.
I noticed, for instance, with the in-store food, because I watch my Weigels, I see guys pull up in their trucks, and they go in and they get a couple of slices of pizza, and they'll grab a cupcake, and they'll top off their coffee, and I'm just looking at all the touch points, and I'm going, Brother Weigel has learned a thing or two about meeting people's needs to fuel up.
Well, you got to understand that someday we won't have a good gasoline business. So food will be our next step. We'll get better at food. And we'll in the next 2 years, we've got to get a whole lot better with food. And my new stores have seating up the front that you can look out the windows. You haven't seen that store yet. That's my Gen 4 store. And now there'll be seating right in the front, looking out the door. You can watch people come in and go out and sit down. So food, we were going to upscale our food to where we're not a gas station food place.
You know what I think is really cool, and I'm like I said, I hope you can feel this energy that I'm delighted to have you here with us. Sir, you're 84 years old, and you're talking about Gen 4. You're still believing in new possibility. You're still shiny and going to work and imagining new things and imagining new possibility. And I don't know, it just that makes me feel so good, because I was telling Dondi Plowman, the chancellor at UT, that if I ever did If I ever did a graduate study, I would do a study of the power of one life well lived. If you don't come back and believe in a possibility, because people who have faith, the one thing they all do is they try.
Yeah.
When they have a lot of faith, they try again.
Yeah. You don't make it the first time.
Right. You tried. And now, and you've given me a window into probably a deeper motivation here. I see 88 stores. You see 88 portals through which you can support all these families.
Yeah.
Right? When you said we're not going to sell, you immediately referenced the people. It's almost like I can't sell them out. They found a place to be and to belong, but also your stores are where community comes together. And I just want to thank you for being a possibility person, because if you hadn't tried with those drive-throughs, we wouldn't be sitting here today, and I would not be able to people watch and drink my coffee in West Hills.
Well, thanks to you, this is a good show, and it's about possibilities, and you're the hero of possibilities. So congratulations to you.
Mr. Weigel, thank you for being on Anything Is Possible.
You're welcome. Thank you.